Okay, it says we're live. Hopefully we're live. I'm not sure if we're live. I think we're live. And we would be inside of our group, the Weight Loss and Energy Secrets. I think we are good. It says meeting is now live. We're live.
Awesome.
Look at
Hey,
this. We learned something new.
I
We are
like it.
coaches and we still can learn things that are new every single day, right? Oh
Yes.
my gosh. So cheers,
Here's to you.
coaching and coffee. This is kind of new. This is new.
I
I've
know
never
this
done
is
this
exciting.
before.
Our
I
first.
like it. So, all right. Well, for those of you who are tuning in, we'll give you a couple minutes to tune in. Hopefully, you jump on here. Um, hashtag live if you are watching this live, hashtag replay if you end up watching the replay. But today, I'm going to take a sip here. Hold on. With
I
my
like that
hustle
hustle
cup.
mug.
Yeah, I know. And I like, we have a lot of these different ones. So this is our very first episode of Coaching with Coffee, coaching and coffee with coffee. We're coaching with coffee. How about that?
Okay.
But ultimately, obviously, for those of you who are new to our group or who haven't really dove into our group yet, and I may take a few sips of these. I've been on a lot of calls already this morning, so I've been talking a lot. But we are here. I am Coach Mel. Am the creator of the Leap Method coaching program. And I'll get into a little bit more about me. I want to introduce Kylie as well. And then we'll kind of both introduce ourselves and really talk today on episode 1 here of why we do what we do, who we are, what brought us here, and that sort of thing. And then as we move on with our new found fun little television show that we're doing, it's like being a celebrity. It's kind of cool. We're going to dive into talking about like the 9 core areas of life, how we can better create habit and mindset formulations within each of those. And then also too, we will talk about nutrition. We will never talk about exercise because we all know how to be physically active in one way or another. It's just whether we choose to or not. So it's really not something that is ever very important. Yeah, I mean, it is important in the aspect of the fact that we move and we need to move because that's what keeps us mobile versus because we are as human beings meant to move. But it's not really important when it comes to creating results in our life. And that's what we want to kind of dive into. So let me introduce Kylie. Kylie is our lead coach here inside the Leap Method. And we'll dive into, I'll go back to, so you can say hi to everybody. and,
Hi,
and
everyone.
then we'll go into, I'll talk a little bit about myself. You can introduce yourself and how you're in our world. And then we'll just talk about kind of just have a conversation. This is about coaching and coffee and having that great conversation and letting people really get to know us. So, for myself, Kylie, I know you and I have talked about this a lot because I've been in the health and wellness industry for 24 years. And that's a lot of years. And with that, it's really, you know how much it saddens me where the health and wellness
Yeah.
industry has gone, because I got into it to help people and overcome people. But then also too, I got into it at a young age where I was really honestly a fucked up person myself and didn't have my shit together. And so I was riding a roller coaster of different, weight gain, weight loss. And it really wasn't until 16 years ago now that I just turned 46, but on the verge of 29 to 30, I would really hit rock bottom with myself and had to, nothing in my life was really going the way I wanted it to. And fortunately for me, I realized that at that young age, but we know a lot of the people that we coach don't realize that and still aren't realizing that. And that's why they're in our environment right now. But it was when I hit that rock bottom moment that it was a combination of coaching and mentoring and therapists that really got me on the right path, to be able to become who I am today, and be able to have the opportunity that we can coach and mentor people. And then it was through the process of really trial and error, not only for myself, but the clients we worked with and the people that decided to jump into beta tests and things like that. When it came to what we have now, which is the Leap Method. And it really, that is in a making us that started in 2014, when we developed that. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's been a interesting and long journey, but really awesome journey too. And to be able to be here today, to be able to talk and share where we can have an impact on people's lives, because though, we call this group Weight Loss and Energy Secrets, but really the real weight loss and energy secrets is that the shit you think you know is not where the results come from. And that's the secret. And then we give you all of the, we provide thousands and thousands of dollars of information inside this group to be able to teach you that this is the secret of what you thought you knew, and what society wants to sell you on is truly the secret is it's not the truth. And we're here to provide you the truth. And then when you come into our LEAP coaching method, we create massive results for your life, which in turn does create weight loss and increased energy and that sort of stuff. So that kind of segues, I guess, into then, how you're in our circle and how you're a part of what we do and how we do it. And so if you want to just share kind of about you and your process and kind of where you got there, and spend a couple minutes just like I did, to where you are today and where we're at.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So for me, I was looking for a coach when I very luckily found you. And so, it's awesome because I get to coach LEAP, having gone through it, experienced it, and had it change my life, to now be able to give back to the ladies of our community and help them along their journey so that they can achieve their goals and find the success that I've been able to find. And, I had struggled. I had times of my life where I was very healthy and active and my mind was strong. And then, there's other times in my life where I've allowed relationships or work environments and things to really take control of my mindset and the way that I was choosing to live my life. And I was finding myself in these deep, dark, depressive states because I felt like I didn't have control, or that I wasn't empowered in my own life to make the decisions and make the changes where I was going to find growth. And so that's a lot of what I found in LEAP, is really figuring out my mind and knowing what was important to me, learning how to create boundaries, and learning how to put myself first. And through that, I've been able to pair everything that I grew and learned from you and through LEAP with, my career of being able to coach people and habit formulation and help people with their professional goals. And now it is so much more fulfilling to be able to help people with all of their lives, whether I'm helping them through the LEAP program with professional goals or mindset goals or nutrition goals and things that are going on. It is a different journey for everyone, but we have the tools that can help anyone that's ready to make that commitment to themselves. We can help them. And so I feel like every day I get to wake up now and make a difference in this world, leave this place a better place than where I found it. And I really love that LEAP method empowers women to take control of their lives and put themselves first, and gives them the tools to live a healthy life, both mentally and physically.
Yeah. And that is it. 'Cause I know, and I don't know if you can relate to this, but, again, I was only 29, 30 when I figured out that I had to change.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen overnight. Like it's still work. There's times that I catch myself when things are triggered that I'm like, okay, why? But now I'm equipped with those tools because I've spent the last 16 years of my life developing me as a human being, and creating my identity. And I think, I don't know if you can relate to that, but it's like when you're in that point of darkness where you're like, yeah, there are good times, but then why does the same cycle end up rearing its nasty head? And what has to change?
Right.
Because I know for myself, like I kept trying to change the things outside of me.
Yep.
And I would reach and I'd be like, well, my relationship's not working because of this, this, and this, or I'm gaining weight and my weight's going down because of this, this, and this, or whatever it might be. But it was always external, or like, why is this happening to me? Why is this changing in my job? Because, all this stuff external. And it was through the years of practicing and developing myself that when I started focusing on, okay, the shit around me is not changing, I have to change.
Yep.
And so what do I need to do? And I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so I had to seek that out.
Yep. And I think that is when coaches come in, because, it's an unbiased opinion that can see through your storm and really help guide you and direct you and give you the tools and teach you how to use those tools and implement them into your life. And so really for me, it's exactly what you're saying. I felt like I was in this cycle where things would be great and then they'd be really bad. And then I'd fight to get them great. And then something would happen and I'd let them be very bad. Where now I feel like I have the tools where I can keep them really great. I can identify the triggers in my life that start taking me into a darker place in my mind, so I can reroute my brain, rewire how I'm thinking, and take control of the situation and how I'm allowing myself to react to things, because that is in my control.
Yeah,
I think it's a huge game changer.
yeah, and I would agree. And I think a lot of people, you know, especially because we do get a lot of people that come in thinking that if I just solve my weight problem, if I just solve my ability to have more willpower or more whatever it is you think you need to make yourself happy, but it's not about willpower. It's about developing yourself.
Yes.
And does it mean everything's going to be perfect? No, there's no such thing as perfectionism. Does it mean you won't be sad or upset or angry? No, those things are absolutely there, but it's, you know, like you have the ability to evaluate the situation, the circumstance, the event, and instead of being in this reactive state of your life all the time, or a reactive identity of who you are, you're now proactive, and you're proactive in your ability to be like, wow, this really pisses me off, or why isn't this working? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
And that's huge, because it, like for me personally in my life, because life is not easy. You know, we've been living in this COVID thing for how many months, or any other circumstance. And it's like, I'm a small business owner.
Yeah.
And that's daily has been on my brain. But how do you cope with those things, and being able to put that into play and recognize, okay, what do I need to do to be okay? Because life will always throw curveballs, but it doesn't have to be this constant harboring of stress and all this weight that so many people put on themselves because they just haven't been taught the right tools and skills to be able to shift. And
Absolutely.
you know, so
yeah, I agree with you. And I feel that, you know, that's one of the reasons. So we, you know, the ladies in the LEAP method, they have their group coaching call every week. And I have to tell you, it is my favorite day of the week, Mel. I get so excited. I get excited when I send out the reminder for the call. I get excited when I'm putting together the call and coming up with the content. And it's just this like empowered support of women that are there cheering you on in your journey while they're going through the same, you know, pretty similar journeys with you. And so you just have support from your coach, but you also have support from this tribe of women that are not going to let you fail because they don't want to see you fail. And it's unlike communities and relationships that I've been able to experience in the past, especially looking for support. It is just something that's truly special. And I think it's really something that helps you take those skills that you're learning and acquiring through, you know, the training units and things that we provide. It really helps take it to the next level and solidify it as a habit, as something that you've grown with, so that you can continue using it in your life.
Yeah. And, you know, and that just makes me go back to, you know, thinking again, like even looking at LEAP itself and where it's come from, and there will always be mistakes. Doesn't matter what any of us do, there'll always be mistakes, but there's never failures unless we throw in the towel and we say, fuck it.
Yep.
You know, and that's honestly like where LEAP and how it's become what it's become, because, you know, in 2014, it was Your Body 360. Then in 2016, it was Reignite 360. And then it was Precision Lifestyle Formula. And then, you know, and we look at, you know, and you actually started the whole LEAP process back when it was that, you know, back in the day. And the lessons that we learned through coaching the people that we coached, and at that time you were a client, and the lessons that we were able to learn so we could develop the best in, I say easy, but I mean, it all takes work, because nothing without effort becomes fruitful. But really the process, the ease of the process that we've put together so that people can create success and break down their own walls that they've developed so that they can have success. Because until we break down those walls, the success doesn't come.
Yes.
And every day I still have to break down walls so I can create different success and different things that I want to achieve.
Right.
And I think that is, what you said is like, it's an evolving process. And when you can be, as an individual, open-minded enough to say, I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do, and I still say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you, like, there's been times you're like, I don't know what to do. What do I do, Mel? And then I say to my mentor, I don't know what to do. What do I do? And that's what's great about it, is it's a continued, the only endpoint in life is death. Yeah. That's it. So everything else in between is up to us. And that's what really this entire LEAP journey and life journey has been, I think, for myself, and I know for you, is that process. And now we put it together so that the process for all the women, the secret is this is the process.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about, and that's why we give so much information. I mean, the things that we give away now for free in this group are things that we used to charge for.
Right. Yep.
But now it's like, let's give this away so we can start creating a community that is opening up and seeing, like, I just don't have the skills and they were never taught to me. Why? My parents didn't have them. My whoever didn't have them, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
Your past doesn't define you. Mm-mm. And so now we can create, and we get to create this massive movement, which is fabulous.
It is. And, we hit 700 members of this group this week, and that is phenomenal. Like, that mm-hmm. means that there's 700 ladies out there that want to change their lives and want to empower themselves to find that strength that they've been looking for, and to make changes finally, once and for all. I always love, like, when someone joins the group, and I've messaged most of them and, reach out, hey, what made you join? And just because I really genuinely want to get to know people.
Sure.
And one of my favorite things to do is to tag them in the trainings or the interviews with the ladies of LEAP. And also, sometimes I'll even tag them in my interviews, especially if they've opened up and shared a lot. I feel like it's only fair that they get a chance to know me too and hear my story. And so, every time that I watch those, they're just inspiring, and just to see the changes that those ladies have made, and that it is possible for anyone to make these changes. And yes, we provide so many great tools in the unit section. And that's what they are. They're tools. But if you don't use them, nothing is going to change from where it is right now. And if you don't want your life the way it is right now, you have to start taking action and start growing. And that's when having a coach, a mentor in your life comes in, and really can help get you to that finish line and teach you the things that you're not open to learning on your own right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly, start with the tools that are here, but then at some point you have to be open up to investing in that help. Yeah. And I know for me personally, like, I paid for a therapist. Mm-hmm. And being a small business owner, like, it's not like I had health insurance to do that. It was like, I had to invest in that,
Yeah.
But then as, therapy took me so far, but then it was like, what is that mentorship and coaching that I really need? Because, therapy, if you have a good therapist, is decent. Yeah. But then there's a point where it's like, okay, that got me to feel better. Mm-hmm. Now I'm open, or maybe you never went to therapy and you're just like, I just want to be open to this. And that's why we made this group too. It's kind of a therapy per se, because it gives you some tools to open up, and it's about opening and being not so closed to exploring who you are as a human being. Because I think a lot of people in their adult life, first off, they start out young and they don't have an identity. Obviously, we all start out at 18. We don't have our identity. and we make choices, and that choice, sometimes the choices help us create the identity, but for a lot of us, it helps us destroy our identity, and we lose it along the way. And so being open to be able to explore that, so you can have the identity of, here I am as a human being who happens to be so-and-so's mother, who happens to be so-and-so's wife, who happens to work for X job in X employee. But it does take investment too. And you have to be willing to make yourself enough of a priority to truly invest. You know, I look at like Diana, who's inside of the LEAP method. You know, when we talked, she had spent on average probably about $5,000 a year based on the things that she was doing to try to make herself better.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't doing anything. And so if you're willing to frivolously, honestly, like, let me buy this next thing, this next pill, this next, whatever it is you're looking for, medication to fix, you know, all of those things.
Diet shots, all of that craziness.
Yeah, then my thing would definitely, you know, like, ask yourself, as a human being, why would I not be able to and willing to take that same amount of money that I've spent over the years and invest in myself in a true mentorship and coaching program that, unless I just put my money into it and do absolutely nothing and never talk to my coach, that would literally be the only way that there's failure. Because as I said, there is no failure unless you quit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all that we do is, it's progress, and progress will never be perfect. But if you're willing to explore, you know, and I've spent, God, in the last 5 years, just in mentorship and coaching, I've spent well over $200,000, if not more. I would have to go back and even add it up, you know. And did I get everything that I wanted from every one of, I mean, I've had multiple different mentors. No, but that's why I've had multiple different mentors, because I got what I needed at that point in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to be able and willing to level up. My whole little saying, you know, level up or level out.
Yeah.
And so when you hit that next ceiling, it's like, well, what is that next ceiling for you?
Right. And some people don't even know what that is. They don't know what their goal is for today. They haven't set goals for themselves in years. And it's just that mentality of just getting up every day, going through the motions, but you're not living life. And so what are you doing? Like you're idly running on that hamster wheel without growth or success and goals. And no one wants to live like that. It's a waste of your life.
And then your plastic bag floating in the wind.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think another reminder too is, like, goals don't have to be massive.
No.
Your goal could just be like,
my goal is to clean my closet out. I need to like organize it. It's getting out of control because I've been super busy. And so that is going to be a great goal for me to crush today. It can be little and it can be huge. I also want to go for a 3-mile run. So, you know, you can have multiple goals on different levels to help you achieve peace in your life.
Yeah. And they can be anything. It could be simply like, I want to sleep better. How do I do that? What do I need to create? Or, you know what? My body is not functioning properly. What do I need to do to start that process? You know, and I had a lady comment on one of my posts today, and she said, it was one from yesterday, because, you know, that we have our group that gets together on Sundays and runs. And she had commented and said, I wish that I enjoyed running. And, you know, that's a lot of people say, I wish I could, but she can enjoy running. But most people who say, I wish I could enjoy running, I just went out and I thought I needed to go run 3 miles, and it was horrible because my body wasn't conditioned, and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe, and there was all these things. And then I was like, well, clearly I will never like running, you know, and then there, you know, and she had commented back, so I've tried it numerous times. So then my question would be is like, but have you really tried, or did you try it once and it sucked really bad? So then it was like 2 months later and you decided to do it again, or did you break it down?
Yeah.
Maybe you just need to run a 1/4 mile and be like, hell yeah, I ran a 1/4 mile today. Yeah. And I'm going to do that for the next week. Cool. You know, and that's what we do inside the LEAP method. It's breaking it down.
Yep. Teaching you the habits, teaching you the things that you get to do And it makes it so it is achievable, and you're able to grasp the concept, fit it into your life, make the adjustments that you need. It's such a versatile program, and really just helps drive you and keep you focused on what your goals are. And if you don't know your goals, it helps you discover what those goals are. And for you just mentioned sleep. And I have a client right now that it has severe insomnia, has not slept regularly in like a decade. She's getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night because she is doing her nighttime rituals and following our recommendations on when to disconnect, and is popping up 9 hours sleeps. And then she wakes up every morning and messages me like, hey, I'm at blah, blah, blah hours. And so we get to celebrate in the morning. And it's so cool because that was her number one thing that she wanted to achieve her first few weeks of the program, is getting her sleep regulated, and she is crushing it.
That's awesome.
So I love seeing those stories of growth, and when people start achieving things and getting to see their life change and the positive impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we do what we do,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah. And that's the, like you mentioned, it's the process of LEAP and the way we have developed it, because, we've tested it with like, let's completely shift everything in this realm of life and completely do this. And you know what? It doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
And so the LEAP method meets every person where they're at and slowly starts allowing them to recognize who they are, so that it's not another stressor, because most people don't even know how to manage their own life right now. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But we got to get the tools so you can do it. But it's done through a process that it's not like, let me add another chaotic, stressful thing to my life.
Exactly.
Which honestly, most diets and weight loss things and all the things that people think they need to do it's just another added stress, which we know what it does to your metabolism when you add another stress.
Yeah.
It makes metabolism more crazy.
Yeah. It's just counterproductive of what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. And that's why, we explore those 9 core areas of life. And that's some of the things that I want to touch on through this coaching and coffee, or coffee and coaching, whatever we're calling it. But, and that's the thing, is just touching a little bit on that. So, all of the people here, again, the weight loss and energy secrets is we create that because we're getting rid of all the garbage.
Yes.
That's the real secret.
Yep.
Yeah. And we have to take out the trash, because if we don't take out the trash, then we're just cluttered. And when we have clutter, it doesn't allow for us to have more come into our life. And you have to look at all areas of your life. If you're having financial problems, it's not a financial problem. It's another problem somewhere else that we have to work on. If we're having weight problems, it's another area that has to be worked on. Like, those are not isolated issues.
Yeah.
If we're having relationship problems, if we're having sleep problems, whatever, depression, anxiety, all of these things, they're not isolated issues. No, there's a connection.
Yes.
And that makes me think of one of our other clients who's had massive changes, Bev. She very much was compartmentalizing all of those things separately for a very, very long time, years.
Yeah.
And wasn't seeing the success in her life. And now, because she's gone through 24 weeks of our program and is moving into our next phase, she's no longer compartmentalizing those. She's seeing that they all are intertwined and connected. And so how do we integrate and make our life work so we can be successful in all areas, all 9 core areas?
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. I love that for Bev.
I know. It's been awesome to see her grow. Yeah. So anything else today? I know today was kind of our introduction day. So
this was really fun. I enjoyed it. I hope that we have a lot of people watching and hanging out with us this morning. And that they continue to join us for these talks.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do these every other Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. But 2, we are recording this, so it's now going to become a unit module as well inside this group. And and we do what we do because we've been through the trenches, and not only ourselves personally and with that experience, but then too, even just the trenches of developing a way that works. And, we've always put our focus on women's health, and the part of that is because we are women. But then also too, because really in society as a whole, women are still secondary, and that's the reality of it. And so, but however, we have had men starting to reach out to us because of the fact that we've have such great success with the women that we do have. And so we are coaching men as well. We just focus inside this group as our women's thing. Eventually we'll probably end up having to do a men's group because of that growth too. But what would be your final words for some of the ladies of just like that, how do you best use this group and really, you know, be able to work with us and how we're creating success?
Just, you know, reminding people that, you know, these trainings are available. We want them to go and learn and grow from them. But if they're just watching and not implementing in their life, then they're not growing and they're not going to be able to find progress. So really just want them to take a moment to self-reflect and see why they haven't implemented these things in their life. And you know, do they need a coach? Do they need someone in their corner cheering them on and helping them, guide them down the path and holding them accountable when they start stepping off that path? That, you know, this is a great coaching program, and there are a ton of ladies, including myself, that have found that great success, and I believe in it so much.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that word real quick before we jump off too. You said accountability.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because people will look at that and be like, well, I have people around me holding accountable. So I look at accountability as we are not cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You know, accountability is not saying, hey, stay on your path, but let's evaluate why at this moment of your path, our habits and mindset that you currently are living in are pushing you to veer off your path. Let's learn that. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of accountability then that develops a better mindset and habit formulation, so that in your life, when you're on your own and not necessarily with us, maybe you're with a different coach or whatever your path takes you, but that it's not I veer off because I need to be held accountable, but the accountability of being coached and guided to learn why you would be veering off and what you can do so that when those situations, circumstances, events come up, that you don't veer off.
Yeah.
It's a much deeper level, you know, because an accountability coach, dime a dozen.
Oh, yeah.
But a coach that's going to teach you and guide you is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So again, why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
So, awesome. Well, hey, let's wrap up for today. I'm super excited. Again, this will be every other Monday. We will post up and say what we're going to talk about next. So you and I will have to get together and be like, what part of core area of life do we want to dive into and share? And again, you know, you're here in this group because you wanted something different, and you got to create something different and be something different to have something different. So utilize the units, and we're here to support you. And, you know, we have an amazing coaching program that if you're wanting to change your life, like that's what we do. So awesome. I'm glad I got to spend this morning with you. I know that we're always working and coaching and doing all that stuff, so we don't get a lot of time necessarily to spend with each other. Luckily for us, we live in the same city, so we do see each other on our little run days. But again, if you watch this live, please post #live. If you watch the replay, #replay, and you'll be seeing much more of us. So enjoy the rest of your day, Kylie. Everyone out there, enjoy yours. And I appreciate each and every one of you.
Bye.
Have a good one.